Everyone, welcome to another episode of Independent Artists Unite song series. Today, we've got Half Machine from Tokyo, from Rotterdam, and we're going to talk about the song that we did together that just came out, What Hope. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, glad to be
Yeah,
back.
thanks.
I
Glad
love
to be
this too.
back.
This could not be a more international collaboration here.
Yeah, we're covering everything. Even
We got
you coming from US, right? We have most
Yeah,
parts of the
because
world.
exactly too. Yeah, because we got Dieter that came um, from also from the Netherlands,
Rotterdam,
right? In Rotterdam. Yeah, and
Netherlands.
now
Yeah, moved
you're
to
now you're to now you're in Japan, and we got yours in Rotterdam, and we got me from New York, but transplanted to Denmark. So that's really we're really covering a lot of the world here.
Yeah,
But I have to say, guys, I've never had a song uh, come out so strong out of the gates with the streaming and everything. I'm always like happy if something gets 1,000 streams, and we got that in the first day, I think, which is like totally insane. So congratulations, guys. I think
yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations to
we have a
us.
Congratulations.
success. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same for us actually. We're really happy to see how it goes, and also on Instagram to see it take off and everything.
Yeah, yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Um, and I was thinking, like talking about the music for this, I was because I was listening to some other tracks from you guys, and you have this track also that I feel like is similar in nature, and I'll explain why, which is Revolutions, um,
Yeah,
because there's no vocals with that, but it sounds like very complete, because there's all these like different things happening, and and I feel like that's what this piece of music was too, like this could have been one of your instrumentals, 'cause there were so many little things going on. And so it was really fun for me to think like, how can I add to this, And I'm wondering, I'm wondering when did you guys do this piece of music, and were you thinking about that when you made it? Like this is going to be like more of a complete instrumental track?
Well, I still remember when we recorded, there was like this whole period that I was still in the Netherlands and in New York. It's like for weeks and months, we just made like a lot of demos.
Mhm.
And I remember that this song was just some kind of, yeah, we just had the drum machine just loop, and it was kind of a sort of a disco kind of, we called it like a disco wave track
Oh yeah, I
almost.
see
And
that.
it
Yeah.
was and it was like very, very different than something we did, and we just made the demo like just at the end of the recording session. And but still like it had a thing to it. And I think then a few months, I would say half year ago, we still had it like in our vault, and we thought like, yeah, we should do something with this song. And we were just like figuring out some parts to rearrange it. And yeah, then we just made a different version. We had we tried our own vocals on it, but it just didn't stick, and it just didn't work out. And I think then in our first interview with you, at the end we said like, yeah, we're looking for a singer, and we just cannot find anything. And you said like, yeah, maybe I can try something once. So yeah, and then few weeks, a little while later, we thought like, yeah, what song would be good for Scott? And then this song just popped up with both of us. And we arranged it a little bit different, of course, because there was like already some kind of synth leads in it that for us didn't really work, or it made it a little bit more like sort of a filled in song already. So we removed everything, and yeah, then we sent it to you basically in that version.
And when when you I can't remember, but when you sent it to me, it was pretty much the same arrangement, right? With like it's had the breakdown and everything like that, or was that a new thing you guys added?
I think when we got the first version back from you, we started really listening on how do we want this song to be, and then I think we we took your vocals and we doubled up some things here and there. I think we doubled the how do you call it, the hook. I think we put it
Mm.
twice,
Oh,
and
okay.
some couplets. The build up was there, but I think it was a little bit different. And so once we heard your vocals, we're like, oh no, we know what to do with this track, and now we can really make it into the song that it needs to be.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
we
cool.
actually took
Oh, good.
and we actually took away a lot of parts because like when we because we're both when we write the music, we don't approach it really from like a vocal way
Mm,
because we're both not really singers, so we just like fill in probably some lines or space in the track with some kind of melodies or other instrument just to cover up, the empty space that is there, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So
mm.
actually, with the process with you is that we like strip down the whole song. I mean, just when we got the vocals, and we just build everything around that just to give everything more space and have everything just like flow in each other and yeah, just make more space for the song to get the flow it has. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
so
we go towards the final mix, we really take out a lot. Somehow our process always ends up with taking things out in the end.
yeah, well, I think that's really cool. Yeah, you took out some things like so it wouldn't compete with the vocal kind of once you heard the vocal. Yeah, and you did some cool things. I remember to like support the vocal performance too, and that was super cool for me because also when I first got it, it was an interesting like I always look actually I just talked to Defane yesterday, and we were talking about like how it's like putting a puzzle together, and so it was cool when I got that track because it was also challenging too because it kind of keeps cruising along in a very similar way, And so one of the initial challenges for me is like, how do I like change this up a little bit, and have like different parts? So I was really actually usually like I mean it came together fast, which was cool, but it was a little more of a challenge for me to find out how to do different parts and yeah, and have this kind of chorus like hook over this kind of steady groove that it was. I wanted something like big to stand out, and that was a big challenge, but it was yeah, it was cool, and but also I had no idea what you guys would think of it too. That's the funny thing with like collaborations is like you do it, you send it over, and you're like, oh shit, maybe they'll think that's total shit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always the thing when you make music, right? You're always there's always this insecurity somewhere inside of you, but
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
If you were not insecure and you were playing it safe and you would sensing, oh, I'm sure will be fine, then maybe it's boring.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think with us, so our music is kind of like a bit like it is a bit steady and there's not that much of an emotional layer to it. It's a bit more techy, and a bit more atmospheric and cinematic and all these type of things. And I think what you brought to the table was that's the emotional side. You brought the emotional engagement to the track.
Mm,
And from the beginning, we were thinking, that's what we need actually. We need that element there as a third part on top of the music. I mean, from the beginning, starting up Half Machine, we were thinking that that would be really great, and I think this is really an example, this track where that came together, and I think, yeah, I'm just really happy with that. So what you brought was exactly what we wanted, actually.
oh, nice. Yeah, but I get actually there's a quite a few comments on Instagram I noticed that thought it was so cool, like this simplistic kind of emptied out, coldness, kind of uh, to the music. And was that something that like happened for you guys right away as you started working together, or was it like a process until you found like the half machine sound kind of thing?
I think Dieter, that happened from the first track.
Yeah, I think this has just happened. The first track we ever did was is we released also on on our EP Mechanisms, and yeah, the sound was already there. I mean, all the music we made together we're putting out now, so the sound was just it was just there. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just yeah, the combination of us is makes what makes this music the way it is. I guess it's just our shared interests and our shared taste in music. Yeah,
And so, um, you mentioned, Dieter, that it was when you guys were together, physically still, that you came up with this one. Do you guys have a lot of these kind of things like in the Half Machine vault?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. We're running out. So
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, how do you decide to like go to the vault or try to work on a new one or the
well,
new?
yeah, if we would listen to the first version of this song, it's just like it has a few elements of there's something left from the first demo we made now in the last version, but it's like two completely different songs actually.
Mm,
I mean, there's this driving essence, as you remembered, this like ongoing four to the floor beat where it's on, and the sort of the first some bass layer is the same, and some type of breakdown and stuff. But yeah, there was like this energy that we captured with the original demo that is there, but like we replaced so much instruments and worked so much on the composition that it just became a different song. And I think that's also kind of cool part of the process because with all the music we did so far and and the demos we used, it's like yeah, we just capture an essence, we just work on some stuff for like a couple of hours or maybe sometimes within half an hour, 20 minutes, something's there. And then there's just a vibe in this track. But then, once you start working on it takes a lot of work afterwards just to make the song into something like, yeah, like it is now, for example.
yeah, yeah. Our work process is really in the beginning. Just try to be as spontaneous and don't think about it. Just dump ideas, be creative, and then you end up with a demo with a lot of bells and whistles. That has like, you know, 10, 12 different ideas happening at different times, and that's fine. And then at some point you go towards the final product, and that's the moment you start. That's when I said to you, we start taking away things,
yeah,
and then
I think
yeah,
that's a
so we
cool
got
process. Yeah.
yeah, we got your vocals. Then we saw that okay, now this is too busy. This is distracting. This can go out. This can go out. And then we had the composition, and at some point we were listening, thinking it could use one more kind of surprise or one more like s- one more different thing, and then I added the synthesizer solo type of noise sections, and then that's it. That's the track.
Was it
Yeah.
I can't remember if this was an initial part of it, but like the very start of the song, with that boom, I think that was just like it hooks your ear right away. Like, what the fuck's gonna happen next here? You know?
That
Yeah, but
Was
was
that
on
it's
the
exactly
demo.
what
that was on
that
the
was one
demo?
of that was one of the first element, the strong elements of the song. Like we first this clap, and on the other clap
Oh,
that
there was
follows,
clap too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's like there's like a reverb on it. So it had like this kind of suction. But this effect we did like through all the song. It was like every bar actually the sound was there, but it kind of hooked, And now we sort of within the vocal structure you gave us, then we saw like yeah, we can really place this element on some really tactical points that you get really like get sucked into the song or sucked into the next part.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you guys are very good at that. But that's actually now those claps are kind of more of like you mentioned the disco element. But I love those clapping sounds because it's kind of playful as well. But it's a nice like juxtaposition to like the kind of droning coldness of the of the basic groove.
Yeah. And also remember, like when we briefed you about sort of what our idea of the song was. We also always have our sci-fi themes, and for us, we had some kind of envision of some sort of spaceships going to some off-world planet and stuff. And we just gave you like, oh, this is a track. This is what the track is about. So we were very curious, like if you would do something with that vocal-wise, or it would be very different. And then, yeah, we got your vocals back, and it was something like. Yeah, so something we didn't expect. And so I'm very curious, like how do you came up on your part with like the vocal inspiration for this track? I mean, like what inspired you to write this, what you wrote?
Well, well, like I said, I excuse me, I played around a lot with the melody, you know. I actually tried a few different things, which is that's also unusual for me too. I usually like I'm like an idea comes, boom, I do it, and that's it. Don't question myself, you know. But I actually tried a few different things because I wanted to, wanted to be catchy, you know, but I wanted it to stay dark at the same time, you know. And yeah, and I mean, as far as the lyrics, you know, I had come across recently. I don't remember how I did, but you know, of course, this like Nietzsche, big Nietzsche quote, you know, God is dead, and I realized I never quite knew what he was talking about, you know, with that, you know, I thought it was just a provocative thing that, you know, like, and we're all doomed. There is no nothing, but he actually was like, he was talking about like the idea of like the traditional God of the church. You know, he was actually proclaiming that dead because that's what he wanted. You know, he believed that you find this like God or some spirituality like within yourself, you know. So he was kind of saying the church should be dead and we should all be you know, finding this within ourselves. And and of course with this you know, and then with you know, then so is she, or uh line, that was a personal thing for me, but I realized also that it's like I was just kind of reflecting on the fact that, you know, me definitely, and I think most people too, are constantly looking outside of themselves, you know, for some kind of inspiration or something to hook onto or some kind of salvation, you know. And I realize I've done that in my life, like or escapism, you know what I mean, from your problems. And what's it going to be? Is it going to be a person? Is it going to be some kind of you know, new kind of philosophy or something, you know, something I can hook onto that's going to like finally give me salvation and I can relax a little bit. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of thinking about those things, you know, if it's not the idea of God, if it's not another person like she, you know, like the ultimate, like I've gone through my whole life searching for the great love, you know, and something that's gonna like, you know, like complete me, you know, from like this the Tom Cruise Jerry Maguire movie, you know. And it took my whole life to realize that that's really the wrong idea, you know. And so, yeah, I was kind of thinking about that and the process of that, because if there's nothing outside myself that's going to give me salvation, you know, then what hope is there for me? You know, where do I go from here? So it was kind of when you're on the precipice of that moment of yeah, kind of like I mean, I guess it's basically the foundation of like a midlife crisis, you know. What do I gather a bunch of material things to make myself feel better, or do I do some kind of do I look within and towards some kind of personal development? Yeah, so that was the basic idea, and then the verses are more like kind of the feelings you have when you don't know where to turn and nothing's working, and maybe there's some freedom in that, but there's also fear in that, and all that kind of thing. And yeah, and but I remember too with the chorus too, I wanted to have this rising thing, with the if God is dead, because I think also with my melodies, a lot of times I'm like and dropping off at the end, which I think is like very common in dark music. So I thought it would be kind of cool and provocative to have it rise up like that. So these were all the things I was thinking.
Yeah, we love that last part with the melody going up to the end. The whoop, that's really good. And also the lyrics. If you look at the comments in the Instagram posts and stuff, people are really commenting on the lyrics that it means something for them, and so it's really engaging. I think it's really great what you did. We really dig it.
Yeah.
Fun fact, by the way, you are our first. This song is our first explicit song in our roster. So you
Oh yeah.
mentioned zero fucks to give, and that made the whole song being marked as R-rated or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
So
I
that's a
must
nice
say it.
milestone.
I don't think I've ever done that before. Yeah, but it's interesting. I also have the next like solo single that I have that's coming out at the end of September. That's also explicit lyrics for the verse. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just into dropping F-bombs lately,
Yeah, exactly.
which is strange because I feel like I'm at the most peaceful time in my life I've ever been in. But
Yeah,
there I go dropping the F-bombs. But yeah,
maybe because of all the cursing, it calms you down,
maybe get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of suppressing it all. Yeah. 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 It's interesting that people, yeah, because I've seen that too, that people are linking to the lyrics and saying it means something for them too, which I think is cool too, because I was a little bit like, with the God is dead thing, I was a little bit like, oh, is that too tired a concept? But I think like the surrounding, but also it's like that beginning, it grabs someone's attention. Even if you've heard it before, God is dead, I think it also is like, oh, what? What is it? What does that mean? What's he talking about? Or what does that mean to me? Right, right away. But like, I think like the surrounding stuff kind of made it, um, yeah, not so tired.
Yeah, exactly. I think it also doesn't touches a kind of more on a universal theme, the song. I don't know, for me,
Mm,
if I when I heard the lyrics for the first time, it didn't feel like some kind of Christian dark wave song or something.
no, no, yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
like sort of now people see gods in everything, like internet or like all these people who you look up to or all these role models. They're gods for people. People act like gods.
Mm,
The internet is sort of kind of this whole becomes this sort of, yeah, godlike system now that people admire or put their faith in and stuff. So
yeah, it's
yeah, I
kind of
think this
geared
this
towards that.
this
Yeah.
Yeah. It also created
Adultery.
some,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, it also created some ideas for the artwork. So once we had the song, we had to think of the images, and
Yeah. I wanted to talk about that next, actually. It's cool that you brought that up because that also, it's funny, sometimes it's like you write a song and then for me, I tend to, once it's finished, I just put it out of my mind. And so it's interesting too because I have this brain injury too where my memory is like very, very bad. So I can almost like when the song comes out, almost like experience it anew. You know what I mean? So it was interesting. When it came out, I was listening it over and over a few times actually, and uh, and with your imagery too, I was like, because I guess when I wrote it, it was like very personal. And you guys asked me, where did this come from? And it was like, you know, it was like very personal. And then when the imagery came out, I was like, maybe this isn't so personal, you know, maybe this is more uh, open to interpretation than I realized, you know, which is always like interesting because that, yeah, the whole kind of concept of yeah, the kind of cult and the priest and the what's happening from here, like also like threw it into a cool uh, direction. But how did you come up with that whole idea?
Yeah, Dieter, you
I,
wanna
I guess
comment
it
on
kind
that?
of came from when we were talking about the cover art because
That
you,
that's how it started, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we had a couple of ideas, and I think Dieter, you made some pictures of some churches in Japan. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, here in Japan, there's a lot of course, brutalistic architecture, and there are a couple of brutalistic churches here with yeah, concrete churches with like these beautiful crosses in the concrete and stuff. So that was kind of really an inspiration. I took a lot of pictures here from various churches, and yeah, I edited them with Photoshop and put a whole image degrading process on that. And
Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't know that about Japan, but you know, when you showed me those churches, I was just like, this is a church I want to go into. Well, I always love that kind of brutalist architecture, you know, but I was very surprised by that. I didn't know that at all about the Japanese culture.
yeah, there's quite a lot of churches here in Tokyo as well, and also quite some famous Japanese brutalist architects. They built a couple of these churches, so it's just like beautiful, yeah, buildings with kind of a very functional, divine spaces.
Mm.
So that was like the main inspiration. But actually, I think the image that ended up being the artwork was AI generated in its base actually,
Oh, okay.
because I was trying to get some visual imagery, you know, just and I combined some pictures and was writing some prompts. And yeah, because we have like this kind of a sci-fi narrative with our half machine concept. So like we now try to sort of put every track we make within sort of a more broader dystopian narrative, like with different characters. We're trying now some stuff out, and yeah, that's where the idea came from. That this song was like about this dystopian, this priest in this dystopian world trying to contact is trying to figure out some or find some of his lost data about the person he loved or had a connection with in this algorithm, but this algorithm is just like almost dead. There's some pulses of yeah, some signals coming and he's searching for it, but if this algorithm just dies, the power cuts off, then all these memories and data will be forever lost. And so
And
that was our
so that
inspiration.
was the whole dot idea came from you, or were you guys discussing these possibilities and developing it
Yeah,
together?
we were discussing these possibilities together. Yeah, we're just writing the stories together as well for this.
Yeah.
So
I just want to
yeah.
say one thing
Mm.
about AI too, because I know a lot of there's a lot of people like online, you know, kind of a lot of negative things about AI. But like my personal stance is like if you like have an idea, you know, and then you're like you said, you have an idea about what you're looking for, and you prompt, and then you like work from there, you know, then I just like see it as a creative tool, you know. It's like it's no diff. I mean, it's similar to me to like sampling or something like that, you know, or also these kind of loops, you know, that all electronic musicians use. You know, what is that, you know? I mean, so I just look at it as like a tool, as long as you're not like, as long as they're not like, give me some kind of gothic cover and, write me a song about it being dark and rainy, you know?
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
I think it's
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
different when you like use it as a creative tool, and it's like it's no different to me than like like it's kind of like being a collage artist or something like that too, where you're looking at existing elements and stuff like that, and instead of like being in physical or even a digital image world, it's like your collaborator is AI, and I'm just like, why not,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like in
No,
the past, as a designer, yeah would collect a lot of pictures from, I don't know, mountainous mountain ranges and destroyed buildings and Photoshop that within a collage, and I spent hours on it. But now, well, you still have to get all these reference images and then put them into the system, write the right prompts, and then with your base material, it generates something that comes quite close to your vision. But still, after that, of course, you need a sort of still a lot of editing to do to get it to get it in the right direction where you visualize it. But yeah, it's just a helpful tool. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, also too, it's
yeah.
like I follow quite a lot of like AI artists on Instagram, and it's like also it's like what what's the end result, Does it make you feel something? Does it have an effect on you? Then, that's art. And it doesn't really like matter to me where it came from. And unless you're, like I said, make make me an album cover, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But you put a
No,
lot of creative thought and creative juice into, you know, uh, what you wanted it to be, So yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was very cool. But what is the
No,
basic? I also thought it was a very cool teaser, with the digital readouts and the talking about the cult and the priest. Was that like a full story in your head where you're just like, let's throw out these kind of teasers?
yeah, that's something. So in the last few months, we've been really spending a lot of time on thinking about what is the half machine world, what is happening in the half machine world, and
Mm,
what are the characters that are living there. And so with the last few songs, we've really been trying to bring that together. That really becomes a bit like a world, a bit like storytelling as well. And we
yeah.
just thought this PDA idea of having like this old logbook recordings that are from events in the past where
Mhm.
something happened, and that was the narrative of this song. And you find this log, maybe modern day or 100 years later or so, and it's just this guy saying, looking at this priest who is like stuck in this machine. And so we just thought that was a very cool image. So how we work is it's mostly me doing more of the words and Dieter more of the images, but we agree on them together. So once we have the concept there, and then start reading out some things, and then yeah, this is what it ended up being. I think it's an idea we want to explore a bit more to make. You need to find a way to create a narrative, but in a bit in an engaging way. And I think this was fun to watch. It was like a 40-second reel or something, but it did give a lot of. I don't know if you watch that reel and then you listen to the song, you are sucked into a world.
A certain
It does
space,
something
yeah.
to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that we find fun. That's what we're experimenting with.
Well, guys,
Uh,
we're out of time already. I can't believe it. But it
Whoa.
was fun talking to you about this. And yeah, I just want to say I really love this like worlds that you guys create. And I think it's very cool the thought that you put into that and kind of the continuity of the cover art of all your singles and EPs and albums and stuff. And yeah, but I look forward to what you guys do next. And yeah, I'm real fans of you guys. And thank you for having me as a part of your artistic journey.
Yeah, we're fans of your music as well. I mean, you bring such like a genuine sort of deeper emotional value to the music and to also other projects you do. So it's for us like really like amazing to work with an artist like you, and also like what we probably all mentioned previously, is like there was a kind of energy within this project. You know,
Mm,
we sent you the track. We got some immediately like the amazing vocal takes back. We sent you a new version back, and that was it. You know, it inspired us to create this really cool thing. So yeah, I think the
yeah.
energy was just right for this project to come alive.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it was just
absolutely.
very easy to do. Yeah, it was a joy to do. But I'll talk to you guys soon. We're gonna get cut off here. But
Take
All right.
care.
yeah, great talking to you guys.
Right. See ya.
Talk to you soon.